Hi, welcome back, and it's another month and another title in early access, and this time we have Wreckfest 2. So I completely forgot that this one was coming out in early access, and it snuck up on me, and I've always been a big fan of the original Wreckfest. So for me, it's £20 in early access at the present moment. I think there's a discount on that at the moment. So it gets you in. Obviously you're going to get the entire thing off of that. Whether you think that's worth it at this stage or not, I will leave that for you to make your decision. At the present moment, we basically get 4 cars and 4 locations to race them around, which we'll have a look at in a moment. But a couple of things with regard to it. The single most important one is the wheel and pedals will not be used in this look at the first early access release because it's got an issue with it at the moment, and whilst I can bind my Moser R9 no problem at all, and it picks that up absolutely fine, I can't rebind my pedal set, so I can't actually use the pedals. As such, it's controller time. So let's have a quick look at what we've got going on here. So we've got 4 cars, Road Slayer, Rocket, American 1, and European 1. That's clearly a Golf. That's something. Looks a bit like an Eclipse, I think. That's a Mustang. And I think that's a Cavalier, not the European Cavalier. But I might be wrong on that. If I am, let me know down in the comments below. So you've got that. You can apply designs. Nope, you can't at the moment. And you can do some basic paint shop stuff to it at the moment, but I haven't really played around with this at the present moment. See, it's pretty much just colours and that's it, so I'm not really bothered by that at the moment. In terms of options, you can watch replays, adjust settings, blah blah blah, provide feedback. I'm not going to worry too much about that either. And if we have a look here at custom race, and we look at that, it's locked up. There we go, we're back. It was a crash, but not of the good kind in Wreckfest. So we have Severlock's Sandpit, Speedway, which is an oval and figure 8, Scrapyard, and Testing Ground, which is just that, it's a testing ground for playing around with. Now, I am going to take us in and we're going to have a look at Scrapyard. We've got 2 routes here, the main route and the Bone Breaker. So we're just going to have a quick play around with some banger racing. You've only got sunny midday as a weather type. Banger racing is it for your game mode. Maximum grid size of 24. You can set your number of laps, your opponents, car damage. Let's go for realistic, car reset, and a wrong way limiter. And I'm going to take the Road Slayer out. Now, I've had a bit of a play around with this, and at 1440p, with everything set to Ultra, I can get to around about 120 to 140 FPS. So it's actually pretty well set up in that regard. So I'm quite pleased with how well it's performing. And the crash that you saw in this video is literally the only crash I've had. Now, I am, as I say, using a controller here, which... well, that was a good start, wasn't it? Let's try and get back up to the pack. Now, the reason why I've picked Scrapyard is because, in all honesty, it is the location that shows off the both graphics and the amount of stuff going on around the track. to its best degree. Now, it is hard for me to give you any real good feedback on how well the physics have been improved over the original Wreckfest, because I'm going to need to really get my wheel up and running post a bug fix from it to properly understand that. But it's got the characteristics feel of Wreckfest, in that it's pretty obvious that there's a fairly decent physics engine going on underneath this, and you've got a lot of assists that you can switch on or off to choose how you want to play around with it. The different cars do actually have some pretty good driving characteristics behind them. The little VW Golfer clone is most definitely a wheel spinny happy front wheel drive car and behaves like it. The Road Slayer here, which, as I say, I think is based on some form of Chevrolet Cavalier, I think it was, but again, oh, I've completely and utterly totaled my car here in realistic settings for damage. I'm still going, but it's not happy. Now, I must confess, you may have noticed that I don't normally drive from a chase cam view, but with no force feedback going on, very little in the way of vibration on the controller I've got here. In fact, what am I saying? None. I've got none, despite having turned it on. Chase cam is just about the only way that I am able to decently work out what is going on here. This car is not very healthy now. I'm in 14th, but I very much doubt I will finish much higher than that, but let's keep going just to see. But yeah, overall, despite the lack of content, and as I say, whether you think that's worth it or not for the amount they're charging is going to be very much a personal thing. Yeah, keep in mind it's not going to get any cheaper than this. It's probably going to get more expensive. For me, it's a good way to get in at the ground floor, and I don't mind supporting the dev at all, because I really liked Wreckfest, and I think they did a great job with it, so I'm quite happy to put my money in. But overall, it actually runs really well. I think it looks great. I think there's definite visual improvements. It seems to be an improvement physics-wise, but I'm going to need the wheel patch to really get the most out of that. But overall, yeah, I actually think that this has got a lot of potential going on in it, and I think it is a noticeable step up. Ooh, look at that carnage. Lots of dead cars, and mine is not behaving too well. Ah! And yeah, it's got that usual Wreckfest silliness and fun, which is what you want. So, as we just finish off this lap, that is my first look at Wreckfest 2's early access. Not a lot of content, runs better than I thought it would. Pedals don't work yet, but overall, a lot of potential from my perspective. So yeah, I'm looking forward to spending more time with this. That is my Wreckfest fun video, and I finished 6th there with a very broken car. Yeah, that's it from me. If you've liked what you've seen, liked what you've heard, please do give this a thumbs up and hit the like button. And if you want to see more content like this, particularly as how particularly in regard to how Wreckfest 2 is going to evolve over its early access period, please do subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to be notified when new videos get uploaded. Thanks very much. Take care. Bye.